Hello friends, I'm Colonel Fair and this is Get Back to Work, a series in which I get back to work eventually. This episode has been sat on my, I should do something with this, for probably about 4 months. And it's because I wanted to do a little bit more with it, because it's a good question. After 4 months, however, I figured out I'm not going to do anything more with it, just do a standard one, get it out of the way, and then we can move on with our existence. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Right, I'm very obviously back in the car mechanic simulator, just because I wanted something on in the background while I tackle today's question. We're going to be dealing with this Ford F-150. We won't get very far with it. I've still got an engine to put together, as you can plainly see. There isn't at the moment. It's up on the block, and it's missing a heck of a lot of parts at the same time. And I'll tell you, it's been 6 months since I played this, and therefore I can't really remember what I'm doing. It'll come flooding back, I'm sure. Assemble mode. Yes. Good. Have I got a fuel filter? Don't be daft. Oh, okay. All right. Have I got a, what's that, a cam, isn't it? Crank. Cam's the other end, you fool. Oh, well, the top end. I know what I mean. Anyway, today's question comes from Jason. Hello. What do you think of a... He doesn't start with a hello or anything along those lines. Straight in, get to business, which is why I've kept him waiting 4 months. That level of impoliteness can't be left unpunished. What do you think to a Colonel Failure builds a model railway diorama, some sort of model Lego / Airfix, designs a game, build a home office, maybe with a tier on Patreon to help finance it and build videos. Help finance it with build videos. But wait, there's more. Play a game with Colonel Failure Wizio. A multiplayer game or a board game on TTS, Tabletop Simulator. What sort of other crazy projects / series would you like to do? Not necessarily what you think would work or be a success. As for the game, take a pick of your favourite. Thank you, Jason. Very good question. And it's not an easy one to answer because it's not an easy one to answer. How do you add something to my shopping list? And it's space, but I think you've got to hover over it or something first, haven't you? See what I mean by I can't remember. I mean, I can go and do it manually. How am I doing for pistons and rods and what have you? Okay, well that's something. We got some rings and we got some. We've got a few pistons that are still serviceable, so we'll get them in. Actually, I think that's largely because I bought loads of them, just on the off chance that I'd need some fresh pistons at some point. Let us get on to the topic. And the topic is a great one because the more you do this YouTube capery, do I mean just as a video maker or do I mean as a video watcher? I think I mean largely as a video maker. It probably applies as a watcher as well. If you're a video viewer and you occasionally have the passing thought of, ooh, I'd quite like to do my own channel at some point. Looks like quite good fun. Well, firstly, let me tell you, it's quite good fun. I want to add you to my shopping list. No, I don't want to add you to my car. That would be bad. I want to put this together properly. This series, this save game was originally the you're not allowed to use the shop challenge, which is why I've got so many rotten parts kicking about. But I thought I might try and do a bang up job on this, otherwise the engine isn't going to work. And I can't fix anything else. I fixed everything that could be fixed. Anyway, you consume more stuff on YouTube and you get occasional weird recommendations where you go, oh yeah, all right, I'll watch that. And you kind of go, that looks great. But I think I could do better. Now, this is particularly a problem if you are already a video tubist. I think I could do better. Because quite often you probably could. You can see shortcomings, but a good idea in videos that turn up. Many of you will know already I'm an avid viewer of 3D bot makers die-cast car racing. Have been for a couple of years. And why did I start watching it? it was recommended by YouTube, and I went, "What's that then?" And I went, "Oh, that's very good." I think I became a subscriber when he had, I don't know, maybe 10,000 followers, something like that. Since then, over the course of 3 or 4 years, he's picked up another 500,000 followers. Because, I mean, it's one part right place, right time. So his channel started getting good. He started perfecting. All he's doing is taking Hot Wheels cars, running them down a track. Right, the end. The track gets gets better built, more convoluted over time. He added a second commentator, which added a great deal to it. They run championships, but the main selling point has always been one part, the diorama. It's no longer just a track. The diorama it runs on is great. And one part, the production quality of it is very high. And when I was watching this early on, I went, I could do this, this is something that I could pull off. My sports commentary, it ain't bad. If I were to occasionally have a second take, so not just accept. If you ever watch any of my sports videos, you'll probably be aware it's a one take, right? It's happening live, and so the hit rate for Colonel Failure Says Something Pithy is moderate. Okay, it's moderate. If I could bump that up to good, I'd be going places. But I've been a one take Charlie for the entire time that I've been making videos, maybe with one or two minor exceptions, but I've made 2,500. I've probably made 2,750 by now videos that I've put online, and over the course of that period, let's say 50 of them have had more than one take. Are you sure? Yeah, I think that's true. I think the rest of them are all one take. Are all just whatever happened to be in my head at that particular time is what spewed forth. Now, I'm very fortunate in that, I do all right in terms of being able to say something that is the right thing at the right time, or having a novel idea that just pops into my head at the right time. Stupid stuff like watching a flaming footpath for no reason whatsoever. That's a lucky thought. That's all it is. It's a lucky thought that comes into my head at a particular moment, and it ends up forming part of the canon of the channel. I know I'm fruitlessly just wiggling this around at the moment. Show me the tablet. That's not it. No, that's not gonna help me. You press space and it adds it to your shopping list. Yeah, from here. But that's not it. This isn't the place. No. You do it when assemble mode, man. Assemble. No, but it's not though. Unmount mode. Nope, it's not that either. Why can't I remember how to play this game? I've put hours and hours and hours into this game, and I can't remember a fundamental. Historically, up until recently, I always used to write the parts down that I needed, go buy them, and then come back again. But now, maybe it's because I'm playing on expert mode, it doesn't give you the facility. Nope, that's not it. I've definitely used it in this playthrough. Well, I don't know what to tell you then, bruv. But it's... I mean, you can do it from inventory. Yeah, all right. Well, look, let's buy a V8 camshaft because I need one of them. Are you sure? Haven't you already put that in? Yeah, I think I might have done. Part mount. No, go to part unmount. No, I think it's definitely part mount. I apologise for this interruption in any kind of capability whatsoever, but clearly I'm having some kind of brain aberration. I need some of those. Shopping list. Add to the list. Add to the list. Right click, shopping list, add to the list. I'm sure the spacebar was involved somewhere. Anyway, I digress. Not in a big way, but in a way that is nonetheless... All right, yeah, that. This still feels cumbersome. Still feels like this could be done better. Oh well, whatever. Just get on with it. Yeah, right. Get your shopping list sorted, and then we'll get back to work. That's the name of the series. So yeah, so and there's more than just that. It's just an example, right? But the problem is that I even go to the extent of buying half the gear and experimenting and going, okay, what is there into this? The ways that I could improve on. And the other thing is that 3D Bot Maker, this diecast racing guy, Hot Wheels racing guy, right, he's already spawned a ton of Me Too's, and all of the Me Too's have missed what is missing. None of them have picked up on what's missing, and the what's missing is a greater emphasis on the personas behind the driving experience. Create characters out of the cars and the fictitious drivers in those cars. Create beef that goes on. They have flashes of it with Mad Jimmy and his brother James. It's not Mad Jimmy. It's just Jimmy, I think. He is mad though. Is that Jimmy? But it's the form for running jokes and characters that people can get behind. That's where you will get further bonding with the stories that are going on. And so all of the Me Too channels, and also Botmaker himself, he's the evolution of the channel. It's stagnated because everyone's viewing, oh, I need to build a more exciting track, or I need to build a faster track, or whatever it is, right? They think it's the track that people want to watch. And you kind of go, initially, yes, but it's the commentary it's the human element that is keeping people engaged in the game, engaged in the video series, not the racing. The racing is a secondary, right? Because it is. Right. The other thing they haven't latched onto is, you don't have to take the first result, right? And there's a couple of tracks that have been built, and I'm dwelling on this because it's indicative of a larger kind of thought process, right? It's not something I'm now considering doing, or am I? No, rather it's something that I've studied quite extensively with the thought of, I could go and do that. That would be something that would be fun. And not to mention, it would be a bit of a break from the norm. And I think that that actually going after something that is a little bit different, but at the same time is fun, and you think you can do a good job at, why wouldn't you, right? So there's new, and the other thing. They don't use the cameras. It's only in the last month or so, because these cars are gravity driven, right? They have to go down a hill. Only in the last month or so have they figured out, well, actually, if you tilt the camera diagonally, you can make it look like the track is actually flat. But they figured that out in the last month or so. But I had that ages ago. I was going, oh. The other thing they haven't figured out yet, green screen. The extravagant backdrops you've got going back on there, why not turn the whole thing into a virtual studio? It's not going to be that difficult. You could, it's a lot of work to set up, building out the environments in 3D and so forth. But that would, in terms of production quality, you could raise the bar from here to unassailable. Because a lot of the Me Too tracks that have started cropping up, they are way more ambitious and way more exciting and way better built. But another thing that people miss is either all the cars come down too cleanly, and they're going to go good, or too many cars fail to make the end. You don't want a track where too many cars fail to make the end. Or too many of them spin round and end up facing backwards, and you kind of go, no, that's not good. You're allowed to run the race again, lads. Nobody will notice. Nobody will care. They're there for the entertainment. They don't care about it being. There's no money on the line. It's an entertainment proposition, and therefore, dwell on that. let's get off this topic. So yeah, but let's stay on the topic, but off the topic. The point that I am veering towards, ever so vaguely, is that it looks like the grass is greener, right? You build up a channel and have a lot of fun doing it, and you have some true fans who will watch any old nonsense, including me playing flipping car mechanic badly, and that's all fab, right? It's great. I can't recommend it highly enough to anybody at all, but you have to stay true to the format that they signed up for. I've got 65,000 plus people who are subscribed to this channel. I get nothing close to that in terms of the number of views on a video, and part of the reason for that is my channel has been around for a long time now. Part of that is the game that I was playing when some of those people signed up. I'm not playing that game anymore. And therefore, why would they watch it? So yeah, there is an element of stay true to the thing that people signed up to watch in the first place. And I'm not cut out for that. I got too many other mountains to climb. And therefore, I'm going to go and climb them. Thanks very much. But if I deviate too far, then the number... Take baseball, for example. Baseball is a great example. Baseball is a big deviation. It's still video games, but I think the hit rate in terms of comedy and from the commentary, I think the hit rate in terms of good quality commentary and the success rate of building out a narrative around the characters is possibly superior to anything else that I've done. But it's not of interest to the majority of my viewers. And why should it be? What on earth made me think that it would be? I didn't. I just played it because I fancied playing it. Well, bully for you, but that doesn't mean that anybody else is going to want to watch it. And then you start curating an audience that maybe does want to start watching it, and all of a sudden your channel has got two separate audiences. So no matter what you put out, they're not going to subscribe to both. They're not going to watch both. So every video you put out, you're burning X percentage of your potential viewership who don't care about that. And therefore, you're going to be stuck in the doldrums all the way along. Take a look at Raptor, right? Raptor is a very large channel, or Nookrim. Raptor is a larger, more stream-oriented version of Nookrim in that he covers the latest stuff that's coming out. Now, Nook, bless his cotton socks, he covers nothing but indie games, and he will get through 5, 6, 7 different indie games a week, whereas Raptor is more drawn towards higher quality, not necessarily more expensive, more straightforward, double A, single A, triple A kind of gaming going on in there. The A's, incidentally, if you ever wanted to know, the only thing they represent is the amount of money it costs to make. The end. And there's a secondary consideration there, which is it's also the amount of money it's expected to make. If you want to know why AAAs are so formulaic, it's because they are the genre of games, and it doesn't matter if you're talking about a Call of Duty or a FIFA or a whatever, right? They are the game genre that is the most risk adverse because they cost the most to make. So they are not the place you will find innovation. And if you are, it will be very careful innovation is what you get on a AAA game. It's understandable, but at the same point you kind of go, but these are supposed to be the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And you kind of go, no, these are tried and tested, not necessarily the best of the best. This is stuff that has a very high chance of people enjoying it. A digression. I now return to the track. So anyway, take Raptor. Like Raptor a lot. I think he could be a bit more chatty on the stream, but that's only because I'm chatty on the stream. What I can't dispute, however, is that he does have 1 million+ people following his channel. Now, part of the reason for that is that he bounces around between games, and therefore if there's a new game come out, like Splattercat's exactly the same way. A new game comes out, there's a high chance that Splattercat or Raptor will play it, and because you know their kind of normal take on things, I'm pretty sure I put that in my shopping list while I'm doing it now. And because you know their normal take on things, you can judge based on how they're playing it whether it's something for you or not. YouTubers have replaced reviews, right? Because, they're a bit like me, and if I ask them, could you have a look round the back of that building? They probably will do, whereas a normal reviewer won't do that. That two-way interaction makes a big difference when you are evaluating, is this a game I fancy playing or not? Groovy. No, it's all entirely groovy, and that's a service that YouTubers provide. What I noticed a couple of weeks ago is on Epic, City of Gangsters, I think it's called. I covered the game when it first came out a year ago, 18 months ago, something like that. I did a 6, 7, 8 part, something like some series before going, I'm not going to go any further because every single episode looks exactly the ruddy same. So it's actually a pretty good game, but it makes for pretty terrible videos. So yeah, an enjoyable game, bad videos because it all looks identical. One that I've been interested in pursuing, or another game genre that I've been interested in maybe having a crack at, is your standard 4Xs. So Civilization. And it's precisely because it's incredibly hard to film it in an entertaining way, right? You have to carry a lot of the entertainment value through commentary. Now, there's going to be plenty of people who will watch those videos based on, I want to learn how to do something better, or I want to see someone play this really well. Completely, totally understand that. But that's not who I am at all. I'm out and out entertainment all day, every day. I'm flaming entertaining. Your mileage may vary. Anyway, City of Gangsters was free on Epic. Fabulous. I don't know if it still is or not, but it was a couple of weeks ago. And the views on my series went through the roof. Went absolutely bananas. They were doing 10,000 views a day, aggregated across all the videos for 3 or 4 days. And it's purely because people were looking it up, and I was one of very few channels to actually cover it. And also because I've got a modest following, it means that I'm more trustworthy than Johnny's 600 subscribers. Apparently, look, I can't tell you why people think the way they do, but they do. Your crankshaft's busted, mate. Look at it. You can see it from here. Look, it's rusted to anything. You should take it apart and if you're putting all new parts on here, oh, flipping heck. Do it properly or don't do it at all. All right, can I take it out now? No, you've got to take all of your flipping pistons back out again. I knew I spotted it earlier. Hopefully I haven't got to take the heads back off, but we'll see how we get on. That's not a good noise. Oh well, never mind. Crack on. This is all just background action while I talk about what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, this is YouTubers as a service. Let's Play as a service. Now, arguably, if I'd done a 25-minute review instead of a 6-part Let's Play, having played 6 or 7 hours, something like enough to get a real feel for the game, and then condense down my thoughts and my experience with it into a review, it might have done even better still. But even then, some people would still be looking for a Let's Play so that they can go, what's this all about then? So they can see it unvarnished as it is for themselves. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, after I did that series, they were saying they were going to, in the free expansion, they were going to name a district after me, or they were going to put me in as one of the potential characters that you could encounter or something. They never followed up, so I doubt that happened. But that was quite fun. City Gangsters, it's good. There you go. That's all I've got to say about that. And that's a 4X. So, you know, there you go. It ties in somehow. But yeah, no, I fancy a crack at 4Xs. I'm not going to do it. No. This is something else that you need to get in mind. If you get to grips with, if you are a regular viewer of Reduced, which is my sort of monthly, it's been very erratic over the last year. I don't think you need to take this off, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, it's been a bit erratic over the last year. One part, I haven't got much to say, and one part, I've got quite a lot going on in life, and therefore I'm not always there. That's a lie. I've got focus problems, and I don't mean spectacles. I've got focus problems in the sense of my joie de vivre and seizing the ball by the horns is not where it should be. Step 1, be aware of the problem. Step 2, resolve the problem. Putting out this video is part of resolving the problem. Stop procrastinating about stuff. Get on with the stuff you know needs doing. Anywho, yeah, arguably too much information. But you watch this stuff because actually the people watching this, they're not here for Car Mechanic Simulator. They're here to hear what I think about things, right? And therein lies the question, right? Because the question is, let's say I were to go and do Colonel Failure Does Cooking with failure and fire, right? Which would be a fabulously entertaining series. I'd make sure it was, you know, well shot. I'd probably even do multiple takes. I'd probably leave in all of the various disasters that occur along the way, and I would cook the way that I do when my kids are watching me cook, which is fast and messy, because they find it funny. Now, they're a little bit older now, so maybe they don't find it as fast and funny as they used to. But while herself was here, and I'd cook, I'd make all of the kids giggle because I'd be so naughty. You know, I'd take the lid off something and instead of putting it on the side or anything like that, I'd just throw it across the room, and it would be like, oh, you can't do that. And I kind of go, I can. And herself, God bless her, she would play up the villain beautifully and eventually tell me off, and I'd be contrite about it. We used to do invisible pantomime in the supermarket. Oh dear, you are such an art student. All right, there's a thing called invisible theatre, right, which you are taught as a theatrical student. You get taught this stuff. Invisible theatre has the potential to be quite cool. It also has the potential to be, and I'm going to use a word that I don't use on this channel very often, a lot of old wank, right? However, I know I'm not even bleeping that. It's fine, because it's totally reasonable to use. I swear I can take this off. What are you missing? I've taken the sparky plugs out. I should be just taking... Oh, I see, I'd left that in. Okay, fine. Well, get off. Now I'm unscrewing it. Okay. I beg your pardon. Sorry. Moment of concentration so that it can feel like we're making any kind of progress. Which we're just not. I should have played Power Wash. Power Wash you can play flipping without having to think about it at all. It's glorious. Or lawn mowing. I haven't got them installed. That would explain it. Oh yeah, I uninstalled all the stuff that I went, nope, never playing that again, because there's just no point. But you could say that about all games. Be quiet. That happens to be my living. Where was I? Oh yeah, no. So I could do Colonel Failure Does Cooking with fire, and right now in the comments, some of you are going, I want to see Colonel Failure Does Cooking with fire. Because you're watching this video. And this video is for those that actually quite like daft old bloke chunters on plays games, right? And therefore it's not a big tangent for you to go, daft old bloke cook stuff with fire. Probably better than you were expecting. You're flipping cheeky bandits, the lot of you. I can cook. It's a thing I can do. I actually can cook. So that's not a it's not a point. But where it is the point is, what about all those people that turn up to watch me build nice things in Transport Fever while occasionally making a pop culture reference or saying something that is halfway funny? Between you and me, I don't think we're going to get many of them watching it. Didn't I buy that already? I'll buy it again. You've got the money. Yeah, right. So that's a problem, right? Because in order to get any kind of, I've definitely bought all these parts. Buy them again. In order to get any kind of momentum, you need to first create great videos that people want to watch. There's a phrase I've not said in a while. It's the secret to YouTube. Make great videos that people want to watch. The end. Sounds glib, but it's actually, that is it. That is the only thing you need to do. You could start from zero. There's loads of people who kind of go, oh no, I've been shadow banned. They're not recommending. Hogwash. No such thing. If you want people, I don't think I need 3 of them, but I'll buy it anyway. Yeah, no, it's because you hit the button 3 times. I'll use them at some point in the future. Having a few spare parts kicking around the place is no big deal. Right, should we go back to putting it back together again? Yeah, you never know. We might get more than 4 parts in this time. Here we go. Yeah, I appear to have 3 of those now. Ah, good times. I've got to put all the pistons back in. Invisible theatre. Do you want to finish one topic? Invisible theatre is where you carry out effectively a play, right? A minor piece of drama that is fictional, but you do it where the audience is unaware that what you're doing is a performance rather than the real thing that happens to be occurring. And herself and I would regularly do panto, right? Pantomime. Now, pantomime is very obviously done for humour. It's a family thing over here, right? But it's done in a humorous kind of a way. But we would do it at the checkouts in the supermarket, and we'd just drift into it. And it's the same kind of thing as naughty dad throws the lid of the ice cream across the room instead of putting it on the side like he's supposed to. Gets a laugh because he's so naughty. To me just misbehaving and then being put in my place at the supermarket checkout. How did you get onto this, and what does it matter? Oh, this was just an anecdote. This has no bearing on the overall structure of things. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, side anecdote there. Not that you need it. It's one of the reasons I miss her, because that's the level to which she got. We never went in and go, how shall we pretend today, darling? No, there was none of that. It would just happen. And afterwards we'd kind of go, she wasn't very cheerful. No, she didn't bite on that at all. And kind of go, they have to, because sometimes the checkout person would then join in, and it would be even better. It would be hilarious. It would just be fun and delightful and put a smile on people's faces. And sometimes they clearly wouldn't understand what was happening. And I didn't mean massive flights of fancy or anything like that. I digress. So yes, some of you may be itching at Colonel Failure cooks with fire and ice cream tub lids thrown across the kitchen. Yeah, but you're watching this video, and in this video I'm playing a game in a not playing a game kind of a fashion. You are no longer here for the game. The game has become an irrelevant, oh flipping heck, has become an irrelevance because it's all about what I'm talking about. The game is merely sitting here in the background as just something else to offer visual acuity, so you're not just looking at me. And that's why this series, for as much as it has been successful, the Get Back to Work series, that's why, as much as it's been successful in so many of you put in requests, I couldn't believe how many of you did it. But it's why it's been absolutely awful for my channel, because it's only you guys that want to watch it. Now, I would quite happily do the Adventures of Colonel Failure in space, in colour, for you guys as the only thing that I do, right? And you never know what you're going to get. There may be bursts of something random. There may be, there may be occasional gameplay in there. There might just be some harebrained scheme or another that I bought loads of these. Why haven't I got enough? I don't know. I'm not going to put on a rotten one. I'm going to add that to the flipping shopping list as well. Buy another one of them. I bet you anything we haven't got the serpentine belt that it's begging for at the moment either, but whatever, I'll get to that in a minute. The game's not important, remember, they're here to listen to you. Oh yeah, okay. The problem is there aren't quite enough of you. It's not a million miles away, but it's not there. Because, friends, the aspiration is to be able to do this stuff all the time. And that aspiration means that I can explore all kinds of ideas. And I don't just mean video-based stuff either. I mean, developing my own games and things like that. Now, I don't need millions to do that. I need very, very little to do that kind of thing, because the kind of games that I need are the kind of games that I want to make. These aren't your dad's games. No, it's different and it's innovative, and a lot of it is oriented towards live. Right, and therefore, after the game has passed, you can't play it anymore. And there will be some of that coming, because I'm making those kinds of things. But I'd love to be able to do it all the time. The biggest slowdown point that I have making videos at the moment, I talked about, the lack of enthusiasm, the lack of drive to make this stuff at the moment. And the biggest one is editing. Recording stuff. I put out a video for, what's it called, One Military Camp, because they sent me a key. I thought, yeah, that's up my river. So I'll go give that a play. And I edited it down a bit, and I noticed my microphone volume, I was distorting on the microphone a little bit. Should probably, if I was doing this professionally, I should probably re-record it. It was about an hour's worth of recording that I edited down to be 35, 40 minutes, something like that. Not a massive amount of editing down. But even so, the thing that held it up was the editing process. And the editing process wasn't a lengthy one, but it held it up. And I've just got no interest at the moment in doing the editing, which is odd, because historically I've enjoyed doing it. Haven't done as much of it as I should have done, because I've always had artificial time constraints put upon myself. But I haven't wanted to do it. And it's not because I'll go, oh, it's not good enough. The other thing that I found from the One Military Camp video, it's not very funny. Not even slightly. It misses across. It's a very standard, pretty tired Let's Play. Maybe there's an occasion. I think the funniest bit is the opening 5 seconds. And I went, oh, why is that then? I wasn't in the mood when I recorded it. And that's unusual as well. I'm not doing an oh woe is me, right? This is not an oh woe is me. I've got plenty of irons in the fire. My original plan when putting this Get Back to Work together. No, not my original plan. The plan that I had half an hour before I started recording it was, I could do a bit more on the Farm Simulator series that I'm recording. And I went, oh yeah, that'd be great. And the reason I ended up not doing it is because it would have been material that I'd record towards episode 3, and it would be a spoiler. So that's why I didn't do it. That's why I've gone with this instead. There's a Farm Simulator series coming. The first episode's already edited. I want to get 3 episodes edited before I put the first one out, so that I can guarantee myself enough breathing space to ensure that if it does turn out to be something that people latch onto, I can get ahead of the curve. My plan is, it's a 6-episode season, and we're done here. I know what I'm making next, but the idea is get ahead, and that way you're never doing stuff last minute. So if you do need to do things again, you do need to do a second take, you can, because you have time. I know, check me out in all my maturity. It won't last. Actually, I have a hankering once in a while to do just a regular bit of Let's Play, because it's dead easy, and sometimes when the game grabs you, it's great fun too. The old military camp, I was on the fence about whether or not to do a second episode. So I left the first one in a way that if I did do a second episode, it kind of works. If I don't do a second episode, it kind of works too. It doesn't really matter quite so much. What will be the thing that means that I decide whether I'm doing it or not? Well, obviously how many views it gets, right? Ultimately, I'm mercenary. Anyway, let's talk about other projects, right? Because that was the original question. And as much as I've touched on, here's why I can't, boo-hoo, of course I can. There's no rules to any of this. And frankly, if I were to swerve direction massively, I might hit upon what is intended to... Colonel Failure Cooks Things with Fire might land 1 million views. At which point I'll go, right, well, let's dump the video games then. All of a sudden I'm Colonel Failure Cooks Things with Fire, the channel, and ongoing life experience. I don't think that would necessarily be the case, but you can't rule it out. If you've got a good concept and you execute it well and it gets hit and you hit the right few people, you lot are not the right few people. Sorry. You're not the right few people because you are already in my recommendation envelope. Oh, yeah. You didn't know that, and yet here you are. No, I need to hit random other people who are getting it. What are you doing now? Random other people who get recommended this clobber, and they go, this is brilliant. And you know what they do next? They share it with someone. That's the real powerhouse right there. It's not YouTube recommending you. Oh no. Although that does make a big difference. The real cheese comes from people sharing your video. And if you make a video that's that good, people will share it. And it's good for you lot as well, right? And yeah, this is not me saying, please share my videos. No, don't share my crap videos. Oh my goodness me. Why would you do that? No, people are going to watch it and go, I don't get the appeal. Whereas something that is genuinely, that has some universal value to it in an entertainment sense, then you share it, then people go, oh, this is quite good. This guy's great. Yeah, all right, okay, I'll watch whatever comes up next. But you won't need me asking you to do that. You'll do it because all of us like being the person who finds the fun thing. You might send it to your other half, or your kids, or your friend, or your co-workers, or insert here, right? But fundamentally, if you find a great video, you'll go, you've got to see this, because you know who will like it. You're not going to send people stuff that they're not going to like. And maybe once in a while you'd send out something that I've made that is, fairly routine. But again, you'll be sending it to someone who'll get it. You know their taste already because you know them. And therefore you send them the right stuff. Where am I going with any of this? I've got absolutely no idea, fam. But I'm starting to put an engine together, and that's, something. I've got my timing covered. It feels like I'm missing a couple of engine heads at the moment, but I suspect all of this will come together when I've put a few more bits on. Or you've missed a bit. You're going to need to do a rotate, I reckon, and then you'll find some more stuff. Where's the last one of these? There it is. Right, yeah. Lots of these fellas. Now, I should have some of that. Yeah, I've got these in stock. Because you go through idler rollers like there's nobody's business. And therefore, when you buy one, you buy 20. Because you'll use them. See how I'm using them? Yes, that's the voice of veterancy speaking there. Right, so other schemes that I've got going on. I do have some other schemes that I've got going on that are not video game oriented. My goal has always been, not my goal, my inspiration has always been television from the 1980s. And I don't mean the series so much as the format. The format of television from the 1980s has been lost to time. It's been superseded. Which is the entertainment that is available now is it's done in a far more sophisticated fashion. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying that I'm nostalgic necessarily for the television of the 80s, but I think that there was a lot of stuff in there that was crap but good, and I kind of want to get towards that. It's hard to describe. I'd like to do a game show at some point. I've had a few ideas about how I might go about doing that, but it's not on the imminent list or anything like that. I think the closest is when I did the bingo. The bingo was great fun. Am I going to do it again? No. And what I also shouldn't have done that evening was run it a second time. Should have done it once, left it alone. But the first time went so well, I went, oh yeah, let's do it again. Nope, it was starting to drag halfway through the second one. I watched it back, I know, watched one of my own live streams back. Why would you do that? Self-critique. Right? You've got to learn what good looks like. And the buoyant atmosphere for that first game was just fab. The chat was really lively. I'd gone to the extent of doing extra nonsense in the background, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's just great. But I should have left it at 1. Always leave them wanting more. Come on, you know all of the sayings, boyo. I mean, it's not that ruddy complicated. But, mistakes were made. Yeah, but I won't make that mistake again. You want to bet? Yeah, I probably will make that mistake again, but that's not the point. Game shows and home shopping and coming up after the break. All that kind of... Brought to you in association with all of that kind of stuff. That it's a rich vein of cultural heritage that was rubbish and and heavily influenced. You're going to go, why do you want to bring rubbish? I don't understand where you're going with it. Because I can see it in my head. I can see how it would work in my head. And I think there's... Alright, okay. Here's where I want to get to, but I just don't have the time. I should just hire an editor. Do you know how difficult it is to hire an editor? It's really easy. You find one, you pay them what they're asking, you've got an editor. Right. So, if you want a good editor, they cost proper money because they are doing a proper job and they do it properly. Because editing is more important than the recording. The editing process is when the video is written. Right? If you assume that there's writing, it is at the point of editing at which that writing is done. Because it is the editor, it is through the editor's eyes that they work out what's the story we're telling here. Where's the hook? And moreover, where are the timing beats that ensure that this delivers to the maximum on its mission statement, right? Whatever that mission statement might be. Now, because I know my own material, right? I know my beginning, middle, end, setup, and resolution, all that kind of stuff. I've got a bit of a head start on it, but I'm biased. I think this was most obvious if you go back and watch what you're doing. If you go back and watch PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, right? Which is a series that I did collaboratively with Stegs. You know this, or that you're talking to the loyalists. Oh yeah, that me and Stegs did. They're good videos, right? They're pretty funny. He edited his way more than I did, right? He would chop it down, and I was never sure about his edits. I went like, well, you know what you're chopping to. And he goes, I'm trying to get to the action points, and I always said, well, yes, the action points are important. He goes, because that's the funny stuff, right? I said, yeah, but you need the conversation in the run up to that in order to set up the maximum laugh. You can't have light without shadow. You've got, otherwise, it's in the land of the giants, everyone's a giant, right? And making everybody normal sized. I've really stood on that. I think you know what I'm saying. if everything is great, nothing is great, because it's one speed, it's one pace. You've got to have some up and down in order to appreciate the ups. You've definitely bought one of those already. Yeah, I might need another one. Okay, buy one of those as well. All right, I will do. Yeah, great. What else do you want? A belt tensioner. Oh, I'm tense enough already. Yeah, right. Clear your shopping list, otherwise mistakes get made. Right, slap all this stuff on. Pretty sure we're almost there on this engine, you know. I've got those. Yeah, so Stegs would edit it in a very different way. I would end up with 40 minutes of footage. He would end up with 16, 17, something like that. Now, I think he always took out too much, and I always thought that I didn't take out enough. Somewhere in the middle lies the path of a truly great video. Now, what you need then is someone with a skilled palate. Not necessarily a skilled eye, but a skilled palate for your sense of humour, for whatever it is that you're delivering, for your style and your tone. My channel would not work with all of that ultra tacky flipping music that people put over stuff. The modern style of music is just so insipid, it's dreadful. Which is why I've used it maybe once or twice, but I use it in an ironic sense when I am mocking people that actively use this tame flipping, you know the stuff I mean. People who do time lapses use it a lot, and it's just whack. There's no edge to it in the slightest. It's just so ruddy safe. You go like, I'm never going to use anything like that as background to a video that I'm making. Might use a bit of umpire band, might use some circus music, might steal the theme tune from Thunderbirds, but there you go. That's cultural referencey stuff, right? It ties into the ethos of the channel. Now, I know this, and you know this, so I need an editor who knows that as well, right? I've got to go and find one. Now, this is not full-time work editing. It's a jobbing freelance editor is what I'd be searching for, who gets it. And the ones that you go, so if you go to Reddit or whatever and kind of go, I'm looking for an editor, you'll have half a dozen go, gonna go, who wants to edit gameplay videos? Yeah, who's prepared to get it? Yeah, because what they're expecting you to say, I'll pay $5 a video. You pay $5 a video for an editor, you're going to get a $5 editor. You don't want a $5 editor, you want a $50, you want a $500, you want a $5,000 editor, right? A $50 editor, that's not going to do you much good either. Right, that's no way to form a relationship, because what you're talking about is them spending 4, 5, 6 plus hours to take 1 hour of footage down to 15 to 20 minutes of footage, right? Complete with maybe a couple of visual throwback gags to earlier or later in the video, plus some Foley, plus some sound effects, bit of music wouldn't go amiss. Maybe chuck in a meme frame or some captions or, right? It might be 2 hours of footage that they've, 1 hour of footage that they're starting with, but the editing process is going to be 6 or 7. And therefore, at a reasonable hourly rate, a professional editor commands a reasonable hourly rate that is not just minimum chuffing wage, and therefore it's a bit expensive. And therefore, if I were to do 4 of those a month, it would eat up a significant portion of the cash that I actually make from doing this stuff. But I hear you cry. What if those videos then went on to, instead of doing 10,000 views over the course of a month, they did 100,000 views? And you kind of go, well, then we're in a slightly different state of affairs, aren't we? And that's what I mean by there aren't enough of you. Because if there were, then I could afford to get the support I need into actually drive to the next level. And you kind of go, well, what about speculate to accumulate? And you kind of go, very good. What indeed? I want to take the engine off, please. What am I clicking on that's wrong? I think you click on this. Yeah, and you click on that. Oh. Right, I've got the engine. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this does... Have I taken this fully apart? I don't know. Got to make sure I've got all the bits off before I start any sense of... Well, in fact, you could just hit the status list. Yeah, okay, other projects. Kernel Failure builds a model canal / log flume in his garden. That's on the might do that list. Likelihood? Low. But it depends how I get on with gardening. I've got to do gardening anyway, and so maybe a windscreen, engine cover. Ready? I would have thought I'd have taken the engine cover off. Hey ho, it's all good. There's exhaust bits in here as well. Where some flipping checklist you are. What? Put them all on the same ruddy page. Right, yeah. Yes. Oh, no. We don't know these are all attached, but we don't know the quality. Oh, I know the quality. The quality is going to be bobbins. Right, yeah. Let's, yep, thank you. Take these out, please. Thank you. All right, yeah. These are going to be duff. You're not going to get far with them. No, we're going to want to replace those if I'm going to build myself a good pickup truck. Then it's going to need good pickup truck parts. Got an ECU in there somewhere as well. Well, that'll be plugged in the front bit, won't it? One would hope. What else? All right, things that are happening. Things that are happening. Kernel Failure does role-playing games. Oh, Jeff. He's been asleep here the whole time, you know. He's now awake. And he thinks it's food time, but he hasn't figured out he's got 2 hours to go yet. So maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he won't. Just chill, Jeff. All right? Look, I need another 15 minutes on this, maybe. And then I'll be done. All right? So if you can stay chill, this is going to work out just fine. Yeah. What next? You have thrown me off my caper. Yeah. Kernel Failure does role-playing games, or rather, a role-playing game. If you are in the Fail Brigade, you will have the opportunity to play. I will probably need in the region of 30 or 40 players, because I got plans. I got a concept. And it's a good concept. It might be a very good concept. I don't know where the voice came from, but there it is. Enjoy it. So Kernel Failure does role-playing games is a thing that's going to happen. And this is some of the experimental gubbins that I want to get up to without throwing baby out with bathwater. I'm not chucking away the kind of the games build up that I've got. What I'm going to try and do instead is evolve the way that I present games so that my existing audience are not disenfranchised, while hopefully increasing the quality and appeal. Yes, Jeff. I'm not that boring, you bugger. While hopefully building with such quality and panache that a whole new generation of people have been going, where has this channel been my entire life? Kind of go, welcome, new friend. Bit scratchy, are we? You're just woken up, aren't you? You're all oofty. But you're not yet in a mood to... Well, hold on. Did I speak? He's going back to his blanket. Is he going to stay there? Yes, he is. Yeah, he's figured it's the best game in town. That's why I put it there. He's in a funny mood of late, in that historically he's had a favourite place that he always sleeps. Currently, he changes where he sleeps every single week. If you're a cat psychologist, let me know what that means. You know, because he's not right, the boy. I think I'm putting it down to it being spring, and therefore he's all akimbo. And historically, during spring, herself would be his lord and master. Oh, no. How many pals am I going to need? Yes. I might go down the junkyard, see if I can get some free ones, or at least inexpensive ones. I mean, I don't mind buying it. That one's broken. So I've got 2 copies of that, and they're both broken. Yeah, but I want to get under to do the running gear. For some reason, it seems to be reluctant to let me under my own car. Right, there we go. Now, that's better. Thank you. Right, give me some chassis bits. Thank you. Okay, now we're cooking with fire. Where were you going? I've barely got any kind of a grip on the topic at all. Role-playing games. Yeah, I think I've gone beyond that. It's partly what the new format of video, I've got it again, is on about, is, you know, keep the existing people happy and entertained and gone like, this is one of the best things you've made, which should, if done right, reach new people who kind of gone, why am I only seeing this guy for the first time? Big channels that blow up, that is a very popular comment. I want to be a big channel that blows up. Then make better videos, you dipstick. You've got the thing you've got going for you. Yeah, no, we're having this conversation now. The thing you've got going for you is that you have a pretty solid hit rate when it comes to saying something that is B+ funny in the moment. Better than average hit rate, and that you are never short on something to say. You can maintain a conversation ad infinitum, even if that conversation ends up being just a lot of old rubbish. But then you'll go off on some wild tangent, and you'll do it in a way that the viewer, who is half paying attention, understands the tangent that you've gone on, follows along with it, and then you'll make a reference to Knight Rider, and they'll be, I love Knight Rider. And you kind of go, you're welcome. I brought you back a small amount of your childhood or your adolescent years. And that's all good. That's your secret sauce, is that's the stuff that you can do on the fly. The problematic part of that is that to get to those moments of sweetness, you have to wade through whatever flipping chaff is in the way. And sometimes there's more chaff, and sometimes there's less. But there is invariably some chaff, and it is always in the way. The good news is that you're pretty solid at a cold open, which is the moments before the bombastic intro, right? And that's critical. This is why you've got any kind of a following at all, is because your cold open's pretty good. And therefore, you have people who give you the benefit of the doubt for longer than they would if your opening was a 3D logo with some bad trap music. It's a thing. You can look it up. With some bad trap music that says the name of your channel and it takes 10 seconds. If you're a YouTuber, don't do that. You might think it's cool, and the first time, maybe it is. The second time, it's not as cool as it was the first time. The 50th time, I hate everything about this. I hate you. I'm going to stab everybody. Right? So, dump your intro. You know why the bombastic intro exists? The bombastic intro exists as a comedic device. It exists so that I can, on occasion, which is something I don't do often, deliberately don't do often, so that I can cut myself off while I'm saying something and thereby introduce an element of surprise in the narrative flow, which is good, right? So there's an audio gag in there that is used just sparingly enough that it should be a surprise when it happens, although I know some of you will unconsciously hear it coming. You'll unconsciously know, here it comes, he's going to cut himself off, trying to get better at not telegraphing that move. Yeah. Because I'm watching it back, I know when I've telegraphed the move, and I'm going to try and get better at that. Secondly, every intro is different because of the texty thing that goes along with it. I've told you all this before. You've done it in reduced, dude, and not everyone here is a backer. This is not a plea for you to become a backer, although if you did, you know what I'm saying about there's not enough of you? Yeah, well, there is. Oh, yeah, yeah. If every one of you watch this, which I estimate after about 7 days will be 2,100 people, if every one of you kicked in a fiver a month, then I'd be able to go full time. I'm just putting it out there. No, seriously, I like that you're watching. All right, and that's all there is to it. I've got plenty of generous people. I just need to find enough more of them, or find a crap ton of views. In terms of views, 250,000 a month, right? That's where I'm at the moment. It's down from the best this channel has done, which is in the region. I don't mean the record-breaking month. I was cruising quite merrily up until the end of COVID. I was cruising quite merrily at about 350,000 a month, or thereabouts, right? The under-over is maybe 10%. Historically good months, or rather historically great months, have typically surrounded big game launches that I've been in the right place at the right time. You can't guarantee those, apart from Transport Fever 3. If I'm there in launch week, obviously will be, then there's gold in them there hills. But it is fleeting, and it means you are then tied into another year of Transport Fever videos. Now, I think, as much as many of you will love the Fever videos, I quite like making them. Even now, I quite like making them. But have I genuinely got anything new to say at all? And that's part of the problem, is you kind of go, oh my goodness me, what am I going to say that's new? It's only because I like the game, and because I have an. Do you know what I've had? You know how I've said I'm taking a break? That'll be my daughter. Yeah, she's sending me rubbish off Instagram. It's what she does these days. She just sends me rubbish. She's at university. Stepdaughter. This is herself's daughter, and I'm acting as a proxy for her mum, which I really like. Anyway. But she sends me a load of old nonsense off the Instagram, and it's fantastic. I've since got into sending her a load of old nonsense back again. Digressing. Yeah, I don't know where I went. Where did I go from? You went from somewhere. Oh, you're really letting you. It's because I'm out of practice. I am out of practice at tangenting. Oh my, how the mighty have fallen. It'll be in there. All right, back up further. No, because you went on a backers sidestep. Okay, so you're looking at making videos that are better for more people. No, that's too obvious. You've been jogging around that topic for the entire video. I don't think I can find it. I don't think I'll find the thread of what I was talking about before. All right, what else have we got going on? Okay, there's one more bit that I'll talk about, right? And that is Colonel Failure plays with members of Fail Brigade. Okay. Here's the problem. You ain't funny enough. You know? Now, herein lies the dilemma, right? I have a great deal of fun just hanging out with Fail Brigade on the Discord channel, right? There's always decent conversation going on somewhere, although the general chat channel has turned into an absolute nonsense bin, which is why I'm going to keep that channel and make a fresh general chat channel that the nonsense bin people can go and live in the nonsense bin. It's fine. You're allowed to do nonsense. It's good, but it doesn't work for me. All right. But digressing. Yeah. No, I like chatting with you guys. You're all genuinely interesting people. But in order to have any kind of a back and forth commentary thing going on, even if it's just playing a game together where, you know, we're playing some multiplayer thing where we're all storming a beach or whatever, there's got to be synergistic commentary style. And I've tried I think half a dozen different collaborations with half a dozen different people in the time that I've done stuff, and it's firstly, it's very rare that it works, and secondly, it's incredibly obvious when it does. The boy stegs, right? I don't think there's anybody who watches it and kind of goes like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, stegs getting overexcited by stuff, but the chalk and cheese nature of the two of you together is actually additive, and it works really rather well. Precisely. Not everybody fits into that mold. When we added Ali into the mix, Ali, obviously, she has her own channel. She's very good. She's got a decent audience of her own. She was a bit too stegsy. However, as a short run, having the three of us all work together, and Ali being the most proficient of the three of us, flipping inevitable, it made for a working and indeed winning change in the conversational dynamic, because no longer was I dealing with one enthusiastic puppy who was playing the game with me. I now had two to contend with, one of whom happened to be very good at things. I think it needed to go on longer with the three of us playing together for Ali to find her slot in the dynamic, but because she is a regular kind of a commentator anyway, she fit into the ebb and flow of conversation really, really nicely. Because that you get a really wild bunch when you're just playing with random people. You get some people who never shut up, you get some who never say anything, and then you get some who are just waiting for... When I covered 7 Days to Die, originally, the very first, 7 Days to Die, when I covered it, introduced a ton of members to Fail Brigade all at once, right? Because I said, and you can all come and play on the server. Well, that was ruddy chaos. That was. But one of the two people who I was using the server with before before letting Fail Brigade people in, back when it was still called Bad Company, he commented about a week later. He goes, they are all arguing with each other about what should be done next, and they're griping and they're nicking stuff and they're shooting each other, and then you turn up and they're all ever so well behaved. And I kind of go, oh, I'm teacher. You kind of go, they're all ever so well behaved until you rock. No, they're really badly behaved until you turn up. And I went, well, that's not ideal, is it? He goes, no, it flipping isn't, because they gave him no benefit in the slightest. It's fabulous. I don't mean fabulous in, and that's how it should be. No, it's fabulous in, what a really interesting observation. And that's why I don't typically play with Fail Brigadists, except on a rare occasion, and more often than not, when I just want to play a game. There will be Atlas Boat Racing will be making a reappearance this year. Desperately unpopular. I've showed it on my channel. However, I've always thought it's great fun, so we will be doing it again, and that will be open to Fail Brigadists. But when I run a survival server of any kind at all, people are perhaps surprised to learn that the thing I hate most is when someone builds next to me. I just want to be left alone. Kind of go, no, take your nice house idea and sod off. Go on, over there. Leave me alone. Because as much as I like multiplayer survival games, the thing that I do in multiplayer survival games is I build something on my own. And they kind of go, I think you might have missed the point of these games. And I kind of go, I flipping haven't. Go away. Your house is over there. Leave me alone. Build it properly. Don't build ugly, or I'll be cross. I know, I'm such a dick to play with, because I'm so flipping particular. These days, few if any people take me that seriously, and that's good, because if you're not hurting anyone and you're having a good time, then you're playing it right. Uh, even if old Grumpy Drawers is going, well, I don't like the colour you've done that one. You've got to go, sod you, Grumpy Drawers, clear off. Go back to your little hermit cabin in the woods. Go back to my hermit cabin in the woods. Have you finished it yet? No, he stopped playing. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I know. He seemed to be here all the time for the first week. Yeah, he was. And then he stopped playing. He ran out of time. All right, that's all it was. This is meaningless to many of you, but those of you who get it will be going, yeah, true. It's a true story. It's not funny. It's just a true story. So there you go. So there's some of that. What do I think about building a model railway? I'd love to. What do I think about building model kits? I am doing some stuff with model kits that will appear on video at some point, but it's tabletop wargaming stuff. That's all I'll tell you about that. Those in the Fail Brigade already know what I'm talking about because I've done video of some. I've done test video. There'll be more test video probably next week. I think I need to make the next series of not changes. I need to do the next series of experiments. That's what I need to do. It's a thing, and I need to do it before I can record the next bit. I also need to work on some camera angles again, but that will turn up. I have high hopes, but unlike this is one where I don't think I'm in any danger in terms of being the first mover. I would be highly surprised if anybody else came up with this idea. That said, if someone did come up with this idea, it'll be someone from Flipping Fail Brigade ripping me off. Going, at which point I will DMCA them. But you can't copyright an idea. Watch me. That's a summary of Saturday's stream, incidentally. That was it. That was about an hour's worth of commentary there. What next? I don't know. I think we're about there. Yeah, so that'll turn up. What else we got? Designs a game. Yes, that's something else that I've got on the old burner, but we're not there yet. There's all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I am intending to do, and it just comes down to doing it in the right order. I think I need to be bonnet level for that. Sorry, hood level to get into the engine bay. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Jason, great question. Spotty answer. Oh, I agree. However, I think we have sufficiently bounced around the topic. No, you've got to... No. Look away. Look back. Oh, click in, click in, click in, click in, click in then. There you go. Now assemble mode. All right. Yeah, you've got to do it in that. Oh, what do you mean I haven't got a washer bottle? Just chuffing. No, wrong button. It keeps moving in where it is on the... But I can't blame anyone but myself. All right, okay. Have I got a charged battery? I do. Okay, good. There you go. And that's it for Get Back to Work. Why? I thought you said it was successful. Have you not been paying attention at all? I need a summary point. Okay, the summary point is this. Over the coming months, I will be experimenting with different styles, formats, styles of video. And in so doing, I will be running at a lower rate of views than historically, unless I stumble across something. It won't be stumble, it will be engineered, but I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. Unless I hit a hot streak, right? If I hit a hot streak on a particular video style, cool. Then the performance will be greater, won't it? Yes, it will. However, my expectation is that the performance of individual videos will be lower. Now, for those of you who like all of the regular entertainment, it's not you lot. You lot will be fine. No, because you'll turn up for bits of Saturday live stream because it's a social club and everybody enjoys the social club. You'll watch other random bits that I do because you kind of go on in, show me. Because you're curious, right? And you like the style, you like the tone, you like the format. Maybe not 100%, but you like it here and there. Is you kind of go, yeah, all right, I can listen to you talking. Admittedly, I don't always pay attention to what you're saying because I'm in the middle of something else right now. But at the same time, I don't mind having you on in the background. And occasionally you'll say something that makes me go, If that's all it takes, friends, if that's all you need, just once in a while, that was quite good. Right? Yeah. And that's what I mean. That's B plus, right? No. Take that back off again. That's B plus. We want to go. We want B plus to be the starting point. No, B. You can't hit B plus consistently. And that's not defeatism. That's just, come on, be realistic. But I want the occasional A and A plus. And if I get it right, I want to engineer those A's and A pluses. Watch the first farming sim video. It's not perfect. It's close. It needed. What did it need? Probably re-recording and re-editing. No, not re-recording and re-editing. There's some bits of it that needed tightening up, and I know one big thing that I've definitely not nailed. But even then, I think I hit an A minus. Overall, I think overall I hit I hit a few A minus funny moments. But you'll have to watch it to find out. Trust me, it's only going to use up it's only going to use 15 minutes of your time. And I think it's good. And it will be out next week. But yeah, I'm interested to see how it does. But my expectations are it'll get 4,000 views, which is the number of views that a normal farm sim video gets on my channel. Yeah. Jason, great question. But what do I think about all this stuff? What do I think about doing real life stuff instead? It all interests me. And the number of times I think, get a great concept, go make the thing, set it up as a separate channel, see how it does. And you go, okay, could do, but do I want to be the bloke who's got 500 channels? No, I don't. I want one channel. And therefore, what I have to do is I have to take people like yourselves that like the format or they like the dialogue, they like the conversation, and work with you to curate in the right direction. You could call the channel Kernel Failure Does Something Sort of Interesting. And that would be enough for you, right? But what it's not enough for... And therefore, if I could get it to be that there's 10,000 of you while maintaining the same ratio of backers that I've got at the moment, I'd probably be able to go full time. So we're a fifth of the way there. Right. But if I make stuff that is super popular, yes, then all of a sudden the ad sales can start to do some of that lifting. Right now, just to wrap this up, right? Because this has been a why do you do the things you do is the answer to, is the kind of summary question, right? In a normal month, ad revenue represents it's $600. $600 is my normal ad revenue, which is off about 250,000 views. So if we call it 500 quid, right? Then $250,000 views, 50,000 views is $100. Yeah, 50,000 views is $100. There we go. We can work off that. So 5 million views, which is 10 times that, is going to be $10,000. That'd do it. Yeah, it would. My maths is off. I probably missed a zero. Either way, you get the idea. The vast majority of the income that I make from this video escapade comes from, I could do one of those, here's a breakdown of everything I earned from the channel in the last year. I think it's done to death, and again, it's off-piste. So anybody I brought in who was fascinated by that, I wouldn't be converting them into anything else, right? I wouldn't be converting them into someone who watched for a little bit longer. I think maybe a vlog format would work, but not a vlog particularly, but a better edited. Maybe I become a person owner, like your Casey Neistats, right? And just have a topic of the day, but curate it and edit it and have a purpose behind it and make it so that there's less waffle in there. But I know some of you like the waffle. I say, yeah, but the waffle is a segue from point A into point B. And I suspect quite strongly that a lot of you who do dig the waffle at least a little bit only do so because of reasons. Because you've got it on in the background. All right, well, I want to get out of the background and into the foreground. Or you start me off in the background, but you put down what you're doing in the background to watch what's going on in the foreground, because you kind of go, this is very interesting. And I'm laughing. Ha, 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 ha. I've been Colonel Failure. That'll do. You've had, how long is this? I think it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half. It's a bit long, isn't it? Cheerio.